What happens when the going gets tough and unexpected events unfold in your life? You could either look at it from the perspective of the old spiritual paradigm, which believes that we are merely avatars, this life is merely a dream, we are orchestrated from above, and you could hence go and feel good knowing that this life is not what it seems, and don't worry about it. Because life happens for you, not to you. So you're perfectly fine. You could do that, or you could get more realistic and believe in a more modern spiritual topic, a more modern spiritual concept, and that is taking out of the books and believing in the ideas that Matt Kahn talks about. What does Matt Kahn talk about? Matt Kahn says that we live in the now. We live in this world. So whilst it's good to believe that life is a dream, that's very good for the storybooks. But it doesn't help you to live in the now. It doesn't help you to live on this earth. And when the going gets tough and unexpected things unfold, you can't really go along with this paradigm, with this old spiritual teaching of we're just an avatar, we're orchestrated from above. Life is happening for us, and things might seem bad, but they're not really bad. Just change your calibration, fix your calibration, fix your frequency, fix your vibration, and you'll be fine. It doesn't work. It might work for a period of time, but it's not going to last. You got to be realistic about it. I saw an amazing approach by Matt Kahn. He says, live in the now, live in your present. How do you do it? You see your strengths. How do you see your strengths when things are going so tough? You could say, oh my goodness, I'm overthinking it. Okay? So whilst I'm overthinking it, I'm thinking persistently. I'm using the power of thinking. Wow, I have a certain strength. I could do something which takes a lot of energy to do. Another way to look at the situation, another way to rectify the situation is simply allow yourself to be. Allow your situation to be the way it is. Don't think that you have to change it. Don't think that you could change it. A couple of years ago, I went to a therapist and she told me, yes, Jessica, I know you're frustrated that you came late to the session. It's frustrating that the bus came late and that was out of your control. And as a result, our session is just 15 minutes instead of 45 minutes. But there's one vital lesson you could take from today's session, she said. You could realize that you couldn't control the situation. The bus came late and that was out of your control. Realize that was out of your control. And that's why it caused what it caused. It caused you to only get 15 minutes out of 45 minutes. That remained etched into my memory until today. That therapist was not a spiritual person. She didn't actually believe in the spiritual path. But she gave a very, very good approach. She gave me a very good idea on how to look at difficult circumstances. You're on a bus, okay? I always like using parables of buses. I don't know why. I think because the bus sort of gives you that concept, that idea, that it sort of gives you the mind frame of being on a journey. And life is, I always talk about life through the lens of being on a journey. So the bus sort of gives you that understanding that you're on a journey. That's why I use the parable of the bus a lot. And I do take a lot of buses, so that's part of it, I guess. So you're on a bus and a passenger gets onto the bus and starts talking to the driver. You look at your watch. Okay, that's 3 minutes already. Okay, now we're talking about 7 minutes. This passenger is talking to the driver, and the bus driver remains calm. Everyone is calm. Nobody's complaining. You do get that in England. People will not complain. They'll allow the situation to remain as it is, which is a beautiful thing. It's actually a beautiful thing, which many, many people from around the world could learn from. So everyone remains calm and collected, whilst the driver is explaining things very slowly to the passenger, but time is racing by. You could either, in my case, what I used to do was, as an American, I would get frustrated. Time is money. Time is money. Got to move on with that. Or you could look at it from a neutral perspective, and you could say, that's not going to control the situation. The most you'll do is frustrate the driver, frustrate the passenger, and just gain an enemy or two. So the best thing to do is just say, what's meant to happen will happen. It's out of my control. And if it's out of my control, I'm not going to frustrate over it. And I'm not going to do more. I'm not going to cause more than is already being caused. And that's a very spiritual thing. It's a very spiritual idea to look at a situation from a reality which is either within my control, so therefore I will do whatever I could to control it, or it's out of my control and I will gain nothing by frustrating over it and by becoming edgy over it. That's something Matt Kahn talks about a lot. He says, if you're dealing with persistent overthinking, right? You're persistently overthinking something. You could either look at that and say, I'm persistently overthinking this, and that's why I'm doing a bad thing and it's terrible, and you could get frustrated as a result. Or you could look at it and say, I'm overthinking it because I have a very strong thinking process going on. I have the ability to really think about things. Or you're in a situation where you're feeling lonely. You could either look at that and say, I'm feeling lonely, which is really hard. Or you could say, wow, I could manage alone. I don't need people to surround me. I don't need people in my life. I can manage with alone time. How many people go through life not being able to manage with alone time? They feel frustrated. They feel edgy as a result. They feel like they have to loop onto other people. And as a result, they get into the wrong relationships and problems happen. How many people are friends when they're not really friends? They're just manipulative and they have a stronghold over the people in their life. So you can look at that and say, wow, yes, I'm alone. I'm learning to love myself whilst I'm alone. But at the same time, I'm not being manipulated and I'm not being controlled by people. Because that's often what happens. You also find that people who have friends, who go out with friends, often they do things for their friends and they don't have their own mindset and they don't do things for themselves. So when you have to be alone, although it's not the best situation to be in, look at it and really view it from the perspective of, I am doing something which is really, really amazing. I'm doing something which is really strong and amazing. Matt Kahn often talks about, he says that if you don't know how to love yourself, and you turn to your heart, you say, I don't know how to love myself, but I wish I did know how to love myself. Your heart will hence go and send love to you. That's how it works. The heart just wants you to recognize its reality. The heart wants you to recognize who you are as a human being, as an independent being who's able and capable and totally validated from within. Why allow yourself to be dependent on others? Be dependent upon yourself, because that will make you the best friend. That will give you the best of life thereafter. So that's various different ways of looking at difficult situations from the new modern spiritual paradigm, from the new modern spiritual view of the situation. This modern spiritual view allows you a lot of leeway. It doesn't push you over the edge. It doesn't tell you, oh my goodness, you're not radiating the right way. You're not calibrating just right. You're not on the right frequency. No, it allows you to be. It allows you to realize that you have strengths, and those strengths will become emboldened and strengthened the more you allow yourself to be, and you don't push yourself down for what you're going through. You're dealing with a difficult situation? Okay. Realize your strengths. I could deal with overthinking. I have overthinking because my mind likes to think. That's a very powerful thing. I'm dealing with a situation of loneliness. My ability to be lonely, to love myself whilst I'm lonely, is a very powerful thing. Powerful thing. I'm dealing with a situation whereby I was about to go out and it started raining. Okay, that's not a big deal. That's not a problem. That's abundance, and I'll hence make the best of the situation here in my apartment. Many, many different ways of looking at difficult situations, which we all go through and we all experience in life. It's that modern spiritual way of looking at things. It's not the be all end all, because at the end of the day, I like my previous spiritual teachers who really taught me about looking at things from a spiritual perspective, which tells you about calibrating your frequency, which believes in calibrating your frequency, which really taught me to believe that life is just a dream. And as a result, I was able to see life as being just a dream. It got me to the spiritual place I am today. So why would I reject it? Why would I dismiss it? True. But I incorporate and I'm taking along with me on my journey all different kinds of spiritual teachings in order to ascend and in order to be an amazing spiritual teacher, which is what I hope to do. And it is what I'm actually doing. That's today's video. Did you enjoy today's video? Why not smash that like button? Feel free to share this video with your friends, family, acquaintances, peers, whoever you like. Feel free to share away. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why not press that subscribe button and the little bell notification right next to it so you can see these videos as soon as they come out. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I love you.